It's not so long ago that the sound hit the nation. Every Saturday night on your favorite radio.
Scores for Leeds United.
The party's jumping, yeah, and the vibe feels so strong. Throw your hands in the air, lift your head up high. You know you've got to sing along.
Wonderful.
Oh, don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up.
Johnson tries it across goal. Rashford puts Leeds into dreamland.
Vinuka is onside. Has he got
Got to pump it up.
good footwork by Gray. Still going.
Everton win it here and have done. Jermaine Beckford for Leeds finally gets his goal. Parker crossing the ball in. It's good for goal. What a start to the game. 17 seconds on the clock.
Ball breaks for Wayland. Oh, what a finish! Harrison's in space. Nketiah away to the middle. Calvin Phillips! Calvin Phillips! The Leeds lad on the centenary day.
We've waited a long time for this, but Ellen Road is going to be full of Leeds United fans for the first home game of the season. It's Leeds United taking on Everton, and this is the warm-up. On the warm-up this week, Leeds United legend Dominic Matteo joins. Iain Snowden, who played, of course, for both teams, Leeds and Everton, will be joining us later. And Jodie Hunter from Leeds United Women as well, all with us to look ahead to this first home game of the season. Worth saying at the moment, we are on buckets, but they're not Bielsa buckets. He's got his own bucket. We haven't gone anywhere near the buckets. And these are not authorised Bielsa buckets, are they?
Quite comfy, aren't they, though? I don't mind them, actually.
They're all right.
I'm quite enjoying it.
I think the word is that Marcelo has his padded. But, you know, we're all good. Well, there's only one place, of course, to start, and that is with last week's game, of course, in the defeat at Old Trafford a week ago. Dom, what did you make of the performance? Obviously, a 5-1 defeat, and not the way we would have wanted to start the new season.
I think, being honest, I think we all thought it was going to be a tough game, wasn't it? You know, the players they've brought in, the pace they have in their team is quite frightening at times. And maybe they've put a benchmark out to a lot of other clubs and with that performance. But I think, in general, Leeds weren't great. When they went 1-1, you thought to yourself, right, we're back in this game, got a good chance to get back in and maybe win the game. Then very fast, they got 3 goals, well, they got the 2 more goals, and it was 3-1 before you know it, and that was kind of game over, really. And I think we just have to learn lessons. Obviously, last time we played at Man United, we got beat comfortably as well. So I think, again, it's about improving each time you play, and every time you put that shirt on, you've got to be right at it. If you're not at it against these good clubs, the better clubs, this is what happens. And we've got to be very aware of that when we do play in these stadiums, the big stadiums. Maybe we froze a little bit. Maybe the first game back, fans were in. But the players have to bounce back now, and it's a good opportunity to do that against Everton.
Yeah, and Jodie, I mean, it always hurts that little bit more when it's against that team from over there, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course it does, but obviously we knew that Manchester United are going to be a really strong team. I feel like last season, obviously, they just kept building, and I think this season they're going to, get off to a similar start, and I feel like they're going to be contenders, definitely. So I feel like it was good to play them early on, just to get, see where they're at, and obviously then Leeds can build on. We've got a couple of games coming up that we could probably, get a couple of points and obviously go from there.
Yeah, and Dom, in terms of Leeds under Marcelo Bielsa, if one thing that they've consistently done, it's they've bounced back if they've had a disappointing result, and it's very much a kind of level-headed approach to things. Let's not get carried away with a win. Let's not get too disappointed with a defeat. It's a case of taking those lessons and making sure you implement them in the next game. So what will they have been working on this week? What will they have taken from that game, and how will they look to bounce back?
It's one of my favourite sayings, is do the basics well again. Get back to the basics. When you have a bad performance, it's always important to bounce back, and it's all about doing things right at the right time. And I think obviously we're going to have the fans back in. You know what it's going to be like here. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Everyone's going to be up for it. But the players just need to be calm, keep a cool head, and just do things right. Make better judgment with the passes. I think at times in the Man United game, we're snatching at things. Players were losing possession. We don't usually do that. Leeds United are so good at keeping the ball. I think we just need to improve on that and again do the basics very well. And I think then we can get on top of Everton because it's going to be a tough game against them.
Yeah, well, it's an exciting prospect, of course, and of course with a full house here at Ellen Road as well. Jodie, when you are off the back of a defeat as a player, how hard is it to just, all right, park that, we move on to the next? How much does it play on your mind, and how quickly can you refocus and get into your mindset for the next game?
I think you kind of just want to get straight back into it in the next game. So you want training straight on it. You want to be up there at top of your game. You want the team to gel really well, and obviously just build confidence. Be positive throughout the team, and then just get that next game under your belt and just build from that.
I think Jodie's right as well. I think it's confidence. We talk about that word a lot, don't we? But in football, it's massive, and it's whatever level you're playing at. Confidence is everything, and I think that's one thing the players need to have, especially at home with this big crowd, and what it means to them being back at Ellen Road.
Can we talk about a win, by the way? You won at the weekend, which is great. Leeds United women starting the campaign with a 1-0 win away from home at Stockport, right at the end as well. You made us all wait for it.
Yeah, definitely. And Stockport have always been a strong side. They're one to always, get a good win against. They're very strong. They've got a really good midfield three. They always play through the middle. So we thought we needed to kind of prevent that from happening. So they didn't play through us. And to be honest, we did dominate a lot of the game. We had a lot of chances. I'd say 3 clear-cut chances, but it was really good to get that last-minute winner, really. So.
Good, we like a bit of positivity. And just talking very quickly about the under-23s as well, they got off to a winning start against Crystal Palace 3-1. We know how important it is, some sort of succession plans of players coming through from the under-23s, stepping up to that first-team squad. It's really important that they continue and build on what they did last season. Yeah,
most definitely. I think it's great playing at a higher level, better opposition. That gives you the improvement, and you want to kind of enjoy it. I mean, sometimes when you talk about the 23s, I've been there at different clubs, and I think it's so important that we don't neglect the younger players, especially at the 23 level, because these are the lads we're thinking that might have an opportunity soon to be around the first team. So it's the stepping stones, isn't it? Make sure we do it right. And I think what Leeds have as well is a lot of good players, senior players, that do help the younger players. That's massively important. So when they do get the chances to step up from the 23s to the first team, that they're already ready. They've had a little bit of preparation, the players have spoke to them, and they're ready to go. It's obviously daunting for some of them when they get the opportunity, but they're off to a good start, and that's one thing I'm looking forward to maybe seeing more of is the 23s this season. I'm going to put it in my little diary that I want to watch more of the 23s play. Obviously I've watched them online, but obviously I want to be there and actually be involved watching them and see where they're at.
Yeah, no pressure, lads, but Dom's going to be watching. So he'll let you know when he's coming down, and you can just make sure you're fully prepared. He'll be shouting from the sideline if there are any defensive errors or anything like that. Let's take a look at the fixtures for this weekend. A full set of fixtures, of course. And, this is one of the tastiest games, really, Leeds United against Everton. But when we look through some of the other ones that are in there, Liverpool kicking things off lunchtime against Burnley. Liverpool with a good start to the season.
Yeah, it was a good start. Obviously, Virgil van Dijk makes a massive difference for them. We all know that. He's the leader. He's the one they all look to. So obviously, I think they'll be strong. If he's fit and he's playing, they'll be hard to play against. I think Burnley's a different opposition because they set up shop and they make things really difficult for you. I think under Klopp, he'll have a plan to really get at them and attack them from the first minute, because that's how you beat Burnley. If you start slow against Burnley, they get into a rhythm and then they're very good defensively, whereas Liverpool, I think, will get on the front foot against them and try and impose themselves on them. Yeah,
and two teams, of course, that we play very shortly as well this season. Jodie, just looking at another one on Sunday, Arsenal against Chelsea is going to be quite interesting. Arsenal with a torrid start to the season. Chelsea look like they're going to be right up there.
Yeah, I mean, you normally hear those two names in a clash and you think, gosh, it's going to be a good one to watch. But the way Arsenal started, I don't think it's going to be a difficult one for Chelsea, to be honest. And obviously, the new signing, it's going to be exciting to see him back in a blue shirt. So it'll be an interesting one.
And one other thing we've seen a difference at the start of this season is with VAR, which caused so much contention. Tony DeRigo, who'll be on your comms, he loves a bit of a VAR.
He loves a VAR, he does.
He hates it. Dom, it clearly wasn't right last season. They got it much better at the Euros, it seemed. It looks like they've implemented a bit of that. And the first weekend, at least, even though I would have quite liked Fernandes to have been a fingernail offside for that hat-trick goal, seems to be better.
Yeah, I think it is, and I mean, I was really against it, but I think implementing that small change is really going to help players and giving them the benefit of the doubt when they do get in that position and they have scored the goal. It's kind of like we took the joy away, didn't we? Now it's kind of back a little bit. Let's keep that and keep the momentum going. Obviously, it wasn't good for Leeds, obviously against Man United, but it was right, and I like that rule, and I think hopefully we can stick with it and we can see more goals and more entertaining football, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? We're all here to watch the football, but we want to be entertained. So sometimes when them goals are ruled out, I think it's hard for players to even take, and for fans, because you don't know what's going on. But I think now it's been sorted. Hopefully we'll see more consistency in that.
Yeah, they've definitely changed the VAR slightly. And just generally, when you have a decision go against you that you feel is unjust as a player, how frustrating is that? How do you get on with it without becoming sort of consumed by it?
Yeah, I mean, in training we always talk about, the coach might give it to the other team and you're just thinking, what? And it's getting used to just playing on, just thinking, right, the referee's made the decision, whatever you say to him, you might moan at him for 10 minutes, you might moan at him, for the split second, but he's not going to change his decision for you, so you just have to kind of get on with it and just deal with it. So our coaches kind of try and implement that in training and just say, right, even though it is your ball, we're going to give it to the other team, and just say, it might have been a bad decision from the referee. So.
Yeah, well, it's certainly improved at the moment, but let's come back after the weekend and see what we're thinking about then. Well, a player who knows both Leeds and Everton inside out, Iain Snowden, joins us here on the warm-up. Iain, great to see you. First and foremost, Everton kind of got off to a flyer last week, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Didn't play particularly well first half. Southampton weren't too bad first half, to be quite honest, but then we got an early goal. Richarlison got an early goal straight after half time, and then Goodison was electric after that for 45 minutes, urged the lads on, and we went to win it convincingly in the end, 3-1, and it was a good performance second half.
Yeah, and in terms of the fans being in, because that's what everyone's looking forward to at Ellen Road, of course, how much of a difference did it make, and how much better did it feel to have our home support kind of cheering on a team?
Absolutely massive. We know you three gentlemen think exactly the same, because football is about fans. Whatever club you're at, whether it's in the National League right up to the Premier League, you play for the fans, and it made such a difference. And I played at Ellen Road. I know what kind of noise they generate, and I know what I'm expecting tomorrow. The Everton end will be absolutely packed as well. They'll be buoyant, so I'm thinking the atmosphere tomorrow will be one to behold.
Snods, just a quick one for me, mate. Who's the
Yes,
players?
Dom?
Who's the players to look out for this season? Obviously, we can talk about Calvert-Lewin, and we can talk about Richarlison. Who's the one? Is there anyone you can give us that's a bit different out of that group that could make something happen for the club?
I think Rafa wants a bit more out of Decore, Dom, to be quite honest. Under Ancelotti, he sat kind of deep, and I think it was a role that when I seen him at Watford, he were box to box, and I wasn't saying I was disappointed with him, because that's the role he were asked to play under Carlo Ancelotti, a deeper role. But we saw on Saturday he scored a fantastic goal, but we saw him get more forward. We saw him getting around the pitch, and that's what Rafa's told him. He wants him to get 6 or 7 goals this season from midfield, where I think he only got one last season. He's already got one now, so he'll be a big player. The way that Leeds play, they're full of energy as well. So we're going to have to match him. And Decore's one in midfield that I'm looking forward to. But I think as front two speak volumes. I think Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison, especially Richarlison last week, was fantastic to say. He's had no break from football, really. He's been in the Olympic Games, won a gold medal. He was full of life on Saturday, and I'm hoping he remains like that. So, and you know what? Damari Gray, I'm not saying he surprised me, because I knew what he was like at Leicester. He's only a young lad. He costs us, I think, around $1.5 million. I thought he played particularly well on last Saturday. I thought he provided some energy for us. He got forward, got balls into the box, and hopefully he can get back to the form that he showed as a younger lad at Leicester, and I think he'll be a great acquisition for us. But we know it's going to be a tough game. I'm hoping Leeds know it's going to be a tough game. We went to Elland Road last season and picked up 3 points. I thought we were quite fortunate. I thought Leeds played really, really well that day, but that is football, and we know, Leeds know, Everton know it's going to be a tough game.
And just
on
one
Saturday
quickly,
afternoon.
just one quickly on the manager, because you mentioned Rafa Benitez, of course, almost doing the unthinkable in some respects. If anyone needs or wants to get off to a good start this season, it will be him. What's the reaction been round there, and how much does a win help for Rafa?
Oh, it makes a massive boost. He got a good reception on Saturday. Don't know what kind of reception he was expecting, but he got a decent reception. The fans are mixed with some of the comments that he made years and years ago. The fans are still mixed. I think some fans obviously don't want Rafa there, but then there's a lot obviously do. He's a quality manager. He's proved that over the years, and when it comes down to it, we haven't won a trophy for many years, and we need trophies in the cabinet at Everton Football Club. We know that, and if Rafa's the man to bring them, then Rafa's the man to bring them. But yeah, it's a mixed reaction at the minute. But I'm sure if we go a long time unbeaten, fans might start to change their mind.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us on the warm-up. We don't want to be purposely putting more pressure on Rafa Benitez, but certainly hoping that Leeds do the business in this game. Cheers for joining us. Enjoy it.
Cheers, Nods.
No problem. Cheers. Thank you.
Well, as we've been discussing, and as you'll very much know, this is a huge week for Leeds United fans, because you will be back in here in a full house supporting the team. We're all getting very excited for it, and our very own Jack Durkin caught up with some fans to get their thoughts ahead of the game.
Joe Wayman, cop, Leeds United season ticket holder, Leeds fan all my life.
Dom Pollard, Northwest Corner, seat L30, season ticket holder for 30 years.
Joe, Dom, thank you very much for joining us. First time in 18 months Elland Road's going to be full. How excited are you and how glad are you that the fans are finally back? Joe, we'll go to you first.
Yeah, honestly, I can't wait. It's pinch yourself kind of stuff. I think it's not even just 18 months. You're talking first capacity crowd in 17 years in the Premier League. It's going to be amazing, and I can't wait for rival fans to sample this atmosphere. I think it's one of the last great English grounds, and I think a lot of them will. So I think it's going to be a massive plus for us, and I just can't wait to come tomorrow, and when they come out and marching on together starts, it's going to be spine tingling.
A few tears shed.
Yeah, maybe.
Well.
Yeah, definitely.
Dom, what do you think?
I'll be crying for definite. No. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been lucky enough to be a season ticket holder for 20 plus years. So I was here, when we drew 3-3 against Charlton in our last Premiership game here, and yeah, it's been a long time coming. That's our last Premiership game in front of a crowd, obviously capacity crowd, and it's going to be something different. And yeah, like I just said, then it's going to be something different for the away teams and away crowd. They won't have experienced a hostile Elland Road before, a lot of them. But on the flip side of that, our lads, some of them won't have experienced it, and it's how do they respond? If we go a goal down, touch wood, we don't. But if we did, how do they respond to the moans and groans and
definitely
exasperated sighs? But I think they should relish that, and they should bounce off of it.
You touched on the game there. Obviously, last time we played Everton, Rafinha bagged 2 goals in the home and away fixture. Seems to enjoy playing against the Toffees. Is he going to be our key man this weekend, or do you think somebody else will be?
Well, do you know what? I think very much like Pablo in the Championship, if he's on song, we are. He didn't have the best of games at Old Trafford. I think he'll hold his hands up himself and admit that. But I really think he'll want to put a few, doubters right. Prove them wrong, should I say, tomorrow, because he really will want to put a performance in and get us kickstart our season, because the performance that we put in last weekend, it wasn't us, it just didn't quite get going.
Pre-season still, weren't it?
Yeah, it did very much feel like a pre-season game, and you know what? I think tomorrow will show a different side of us.
Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, I think just on the Rafinha thing and players playing in this atmosphere, I think if I think about what he did to Cahill in that game against Crystal Palace, I think if that's at a packed out Elland Road, the crowd, and he gives me the vibe that he's that type of player that he would get up for that and be like, give me that ball, because he's getting it again, do you know what I mean? And I think they'll really they'll really thrive on it. I think the fact that Paddy's just signed his new 5-year deal as well, I'm backing him to score tomorrow. You know, we've seen the impact Varane had at Manchester United. Hopefully it has a similar sort of impact with Paddy getting a new 5-year deal. He'll be up for it, and I'm expecting a brace from him.
Exciting. It's an exciting team, isn't it? It's an exciting time as well to be a Leeds United fan, let's be honest. Going back to the game at the weekend, score prediction for you both. How do we think it's going to go? Joe, we'll go to you first.
I think, look, last week happened, but religiously under Bielsa, we never go on consecutive losses. It's not really something we do. We bounce back really well. The last time we were beat 6-2 by that lot, we won the next two, conceding 0 goals. So for me, I think more of the same. I think we win the game 2-0 tomorrow with a Patrick Bamford brace. Yeah,
confident. I like it.
Yeah, I'll go for my tried and trusted, but very rarely comes in when I back it 3-1 Leeds.
Any goal scorers?
I think Bamford will get off the mark, and I think Rafinha as well.
Fingers crossed for me as well, because I got them in my fantasy, so
yeah,
that'll definitely bolster my squad as well. Fellas, thank you very much for coming on.
Cheers.
Like I say, a full Ellen Road pending for the first time in the Premier League in 17 years, and I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm sure you two are too.
Bring it on.
Nice one, lads. Thank you.
So not long now until this place will be absolutely buzzing and Ellen Road will sound as it's meant to sound, full of thousands of Leeds United fans. It's going to make a big difference, isn't it? For the players as well, having gone that whole season without, we got a taste of it against West Brom, but having a full house here will make such a difference.
Yeah, I mean, it just lifts the whole team, doesn't it? And it's like they're here for you, you're playing for them. It's like the 12th man, really. So in a full crowd, we've got the best fans in the world, arguably, so it's just one of them, isn't it?
Yeah, you got in the key phrase on the warm-up, which is best fans in the world, so a little tick for that one. Dom, you know, some of the players that we signed last season, they haven't played in front of a full house here. We know how loud it can be, but are they going to get a bit of a shock when they work through that tunnel?
I mean, there's a lot of experience, isn't there, throughout that squad, so I think they'll be fine, but I think it's more of the enjoyment and the pleasure of playing in front of these great fans and being up for it. I mean, you don't need any motivation for a game like this, in my opinion. You just want to go out there and do your best, not leave anything on that pitch. Just do everything you can to get the result, and that's kind of how Bielsa's. It's like the way he plays. The ethos that he has is about doing everything right all the way through the game. Even in the last minute, you know, he was trying to make things happen and telling players. You seen when obviously against Man United when things went bad, Bielsa didn't change. He was still shouting to them players, come on, we need to do better, even making changes. He was still enforcing players to come on, get going, and it'd be the same again. And I think with the fans back in, as you guys have mentioned, that's so important. And like you say, they can be our 12th man and push us forward into the positions where we want to be.
Thinking of a player like Rafinha, for example, you know, skills and tricks, you want the feedback from the crowd when you do that kind of thing. And it's been this kind of like hollow, empty sounding place for all the time that he's been there. Yeah. That's the kind of player that when the crowd get behind, that sort of eggs them on almost.
Yeah, they get bums on seats, don't they, them kind of players, and I think he has got that ability to do that, and really I think he's the one player that, especially for the younger fans, they're really looking forward to see what he can bring, the skills he can bring, the things he does things a bit different, you know, from what other players can do. He's got that excitement about him as a player. And the thing, he's still quite raw for me. He's still learning the game. He's learning the Premier League. He's only had the one season, so now for him, it's a chance to showcase everything he can do, but not too quickly. You're gonna have to grow into that. Obviously, a bad performance in the first game. So I think now for him, it'll be like a nice steady start into the game. And then when he gets the opportunity to do them tricks, when you're maybe 2 or 3 up, that's when you show him and excite them fans. And he's a great player. Now it's about doing it consistently, week in, week out, like he did last season.
Yeah, and Jodie, whether it's, you know, Rafinha on one side or Jack Harrison, bit of control, going past a player, those are the players that get us fans off our seats, standing up, going, what's going to happen next?
Yeah, it's just an echo, isn't it? It's just like the crowd reaction. It's like, okay, our next one, when's the next one coming? You know, and it just kind of urges them to do more, really, and just bring that spark to the team that they can bring.
Absolutely. Dom, what are your modelling skills like, mate? I don't know, what were you like with sort of kit launches back in the day? You're quite good with the modelling?
Pretty good, yeah. You know, I'm up for anything, you know me. It's just one of those things. I probably haven't got the face for it, but I have a good go at it.
I'll tell you what then, put that in front of your face and then we
okay,
won't have to see.
Yeah,
there
you
you go.
look.
Because we've got something brand new for you this season.
There
you
go.
This is the best modelling you've ever done here. Dom, look at that.
It's the best I've ever looked as well. Best I've ever looked this.
We have teamed up with local and international artists to produce a number of limited edition match day prints. There's only 500 of these will ever be sold, and they're available to buy online and in store now. So if you want a little memento, doesn't come with Dom, sorry about that, but you can get them online and in store as well. a little memory of Leeds against Everton in the Premier League. You want to get in touch with this show, we want to hear from you, of course, and the way to do that is using the hashtag #TheWarmUp. It is time for the 9-dart challenge here on The Warm-Up. Jodie Hunter, Leeds United women, all your preparation, everything you want for the season. It all comes down to this, really. This is the important thing, isn't it?
Make or break, definitely.
Any good at darts?
We'll have to see what we.
All right. All the famous darts players have their own name. Everyone's giving themselves a name. Jodie Hunter, what is going to be your darts playing name?
I think maybe we'll go with Jodie Hundreds Hunter. That's counting the hundreds.
Yeah, no pressure on yourself there. Unbelievable. Well, let's see how many hundreds you can get. Take your place on the unmarked hockey, just wherever you're happy with. And let's see, 9 darts. Let's see how many you can get.
Okay,
Jodie,
here we go.
Hundreds Hunter. All right, dart number 1. Off to a good start here. See if we can get a treble. It's 14, 12, and 1. Oh, didn't want. I don't expect a 1 from Jodie Hundreds Hunter, if I'm being honest with you. 27 off the first 3. You've got plenty of time here to redeem. Just take your time, settle yourself in.
It's a little chill coming through here, I think.
Blaming the conditions now. 5, 20. That's good. We're off the board on that one. Another 25 to add on takes us to 52.
Let's get to that 100 mark, I think.
You've got 3 more. I won't tell anyone that you've moved a little bit closer there. Don't worry, we'll keep that between us. Last 3 darts. 4? It's
Yeah.
4, just out the treble. 12. And is that one in?
Double 1, is it?
It's just in. Do you know what? It's just nipped the wire there on double 1, which means your overall total altogether is 70. I think we're going to have to change your name there. Jodie, lack of hundreds.
Jodie 70s 100.
Jodie 70s 100. Not a bad effort. Hopefully a better performance for the Leeds United women.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
We of course want you to be part of the warm-up, and if you've got any questions for Dom or anyone else who's joining us on the show, hashtag the warm-up is the way to do it. There is a question that's coming from John, if that's all right, Dom, who says, what were your pre-match preparations like? And it's sort of a 2-part. Well, I'm worried about the answer now, Dom, with that. And did you get nervous before games?
Being honest, I wasn't really that person. I was always trying to stay quite calm. Don't get me wrong, you do for maybe a bigger game, you might be up for a bit more. It sounds awful saying that, but anyway, sometimes it's a Champions League game, I was maybe up for it a little bit more, obviously playing against them players. But yeah, I don't know, I think for me, every game I played in, I always had this way, if things were going wrong, how can I change that in my own head? And mine was always about going back to the basics. I know I mention it quite a lot, this word, but it is something that I think a lot of footballers use. Get back to basics and get back doing what you do well. And that's what I think helps a lot of young players especially to improve.
Would you have enjoyed it under the Bielsa training regime?
To be honest, even though I was a bit of a boy, I actually love training and I love working. I love putting them hard yards in. And that's the important thing. If you don't do them hard yards, you don't get the results. You don't get that kind of team spirit as well, and that's massively important. And especially at Leeds at the moment, you can see how united the group are. You know, we've seen over the last year or two, they've been so united as a group, and hopefully that can help them going forward as well.
Yeah, hashtag the warm-up to be a part of the show. Leeds United women away again, another away trip. We're hoping for another victory.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're a good side, Charlie. They always have been. They come off a win as well at the past. So I think it's just getting them preparations in and, doing the bits that you need to do in training. Obviously basics, going through that, getting first touches in. And just obviously, hopefully we can just build on those 3 points.
Yeah, well, good luck for the weekend, Jodie. Dom, thank you so much for joining us here on the warm-up. Under 23s in action on LUTV. You can catch up with that in the week, but right now it's all about the big one. Leeds United against Everton here at Ellen Road. Your commentary team will be Bryn Law and Tony DeRigo. Enjoy the match.